What's up, guys? Welcome to another video of Let's Talk, and today we're going to be talking about a new PUBG map, Karakin? Karakin? I don't know how to say it. One of the two. Karakin. Let's get right into it. Okay, first thing I have to say about this map, everyone knows it's 2x2. So a lot smaller map, like a fourth the size of Erangel, I believe. That's if that math works out. Um, the fights are super quick. You'll find teams super quick. The rotations are right into other teams fighting. But the third parties don't seem to be like they are on Sandhawk. From my gameplay so far, I believe the all the hills and everything have something to do with that. It's kind of blocking third parties. Um, so I got a chance to play a little bit yesterday. Uh, some things I did notice. There was a bug at times that when you started the game, it would freeze at, like, let's say 10 seconds, it would freeze. Like right here, 8 seconds. And you'd have to tab out, tab back in, and then you'd be able to play again. So the game froze, and then you just have to tab out or Alt F4 or exit game and make it start again. The loot on the map is not the best right now, but I have a feeling they're going to optimize that. Meds are hard to come by. Level 2 gear is hard to come by. But also they have these places you can explode, like buildings that you can't get into unless you have some C4 to get into it. That have higher tier loot inside them. Also, the tunnels have higher tier loot inside of them, and you can find the tunnels inside the domes that have flags on them. Also, some cave structures in the side of mountains that have a little kraken symbol next to them. But the domes without flags won't have a tunnel inside of them. It's just you'll go in there and there won't be anything to blow up on the floor. Something I will like to say, there are no scopes higher than the 4x on this map. Even though you'll be able to get long range fights in on the top of these mountaintops, you won't have a scope larger than the 4x, and the 4x I believe only comes in care packages at this point. That's the only place we've been able to find them. I don't think we found any in the tunnels or the caves, but I believe they only come in care packages at this point. With that said, MK14s spawn inside the caves and tunnels and buildings. Something else about the tunnels, they are very narrow. I'll throw up a picture of where all the tunnel spots are, but the tunnels are very narrow, and it's hard to initially push into a tunnel with people camping the inside. It's almost impossible. We've tried a few times. It's almost impossible. As you can see here, you get these long range fights, but you're shooting with 2x scopes, 3x at the max. Unless you get a drop, you'll have a 4x. So the fights at distance, it's gonna make players better with their, tapping 2x, 3x's, and their red dot sprays. Something else that's great about this map is the maneuverability across building tops. It almost has a sort of Assassin's Creed vibe to it in some of these building fights, where you'll jump from roof to roof and into balconies and things like that, and it just makes the playing on top of the buildings as maneuverable as playing inside the buildings. And that's something that the vaulting system desperately needed, was instead of just vaulting walls and ledges and stuff, actual playability across building tops. You'll see here I used that to my advantage. I knocked one guy inside, jumped over to the ledge, came in and finished my kills. The black zone is what they're calling it now, is like the new red zone. It'll be bombs that drop from the sky after a warning siren comes on, and those bombs will target buildings specifically. So if you're inside a building within the area of effect, you have the potential of being instantly killed by one of these bombs. If you're outside the buildings, inside the area effect, no worries. I don't think we've actually laid next to a building that got blown up, and it didn't do anything to my teammate. So we're trying to do some testing to see how close you could be to actually one of the buildings that got blown up, and I think you actually have to be inside the building for it to actually affect you. Right here we had a little trouble getting out of the tunnel. The vaulting just didn't work in one of the spots, so we had to turn and do it on the side. The hardest part about this is going to be these 2x fights. Most commonly, the 3x is almost rare to come by as well. 4x even more so. So these 2x fights are going to be your most common fights on this map. In summary, I think this is a great map for PUBG to add. I do believe they need to do some loot increases. Maybe add 4x to world spawn instead of just the crate. Maybe up the meds. We found ourselves just running and running in the blue with only bandages and not many things. We did happen to find lots of meds inside the bunkers and inside the houses you have to blow up specifically to get loot. So maybe it's just a different play style. Instead of having meds all over the map, they're kind of concentrated in those areas, which I guess can add a new dynamic to the game. But otherwise, other than that, I would say add more meds across the map. Another thing is the plane noises are super loud and the plane flies super slow. Hearing on this map is also kind of muddled out. The sounds are kind of muddled. Like if you're in a fight with someone in this town and a plane flies over, and then you have the sirens going off for some bombs going in a nearby town, and then someone's blowing something up with a sticky bomb, which makes this ringtone noise. Footsteps and directional shots, they're really hard to hear on this map. Since everything is so close together, you're hearing bombs explode almost constantly. So it is a bit droning at times with the planes and the bombs and the sirens. So I'm not sure how well this map's gonna fare if it's implemented into comp. I've seen Naps was tweeting today about, or giving a question in Twitter saying, do you want this map added to comp? And some of the replies were along the lines of a good map to warm up to if loot settings are skyrocketed. So I could see that, warming up on this map and then getting into the actual comp scene. But for me personally, I don't think this is a competitive map for PUBG. I think it's just a large hot drop. This map, I would say, is a large hot drop. Everywhere's hot. I'll have more updates on this map as it actually is released to live servers. Currently, it's only in test servers, so once it comes to live, we should have some changes, some bug fixes, and we'll see what the team does that's working on this map to get it ready to go to live. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.